What is hate? We all have the right to feel safe where we live, and no one should be treated badly because of who they are. Hate can make people feel afraid. In law, the word hostility is used to talk about hate. This is about how a person is treated. A protected characteristic is something about a person that is shared by a group and have been targeted by others because they are different in some way, for example, their race. There are 9 of these protected characteristics. 5 of these are protected under criminal law, and the other 4 are protected under civil law. The 5 protected under criminal law are race, religion or belief, sexual orientation, disability, and transgender. The 4 protected characteristics under civil law are maternity and pregnancy, sex, age, and marriage and civil partnership. These are all covered under the Equality Act 2010. The police and the CPS have agreed the following definitions for identifying and flagging hate crimes or hate incidents. A hate crime, any criminal offence which is perceived by the victim or any other person to be motivated by hostility or prejudice based on a person's disability, perceived disability, race or perceived race, religion or perceived religion, sexual orientation or perceived sexual orientation, or transgender identity or perceived transgender identity. A hate incident is defined by any non-crime incident which is perceived by the victim or any other person to be motivated by hostility or prejudice based on a person's disability, perceived disability, race or perceived race, religion or perceived religion, sexual orientation or perceived sexual orientation, or transgender identity or perceived transgender identity. There are key words in this definition we need to understand. Let's start with perception. Perception is the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something. This could either be both the victim's or anybody else's ability to identify, recognise, realise, acknowledge, understate, believe, or judge that any crime, incident, or behaviour was attributed to hate. Anyone can perceive a hate incident or a hate crime. It doesn't have to be the victim. Help them to recognise what it is and stand up for them. Next, we will look at prejudice. Prejudice is a preconceived opinion that is not based on reason or experience. It can influence both a person's behaviour and the words they express. This means that the most important thing you must do is report anything that anyone has said or done that has made you feel upset, angry, or has caused harm to you. If you see it happening to anybody else, report it. Do not be an active bystander. Some examples you should report are physical assault, damage to property, offensive graffiti, and arson. Hate crimes can also include threatening or abusive words, pictures, or videos, offensive social media posts, abusive or obscene telephone calls or text messages, intimidation by groups, or unfounded malicious complaints. If any of this has happened to you because of your race, religious belief or lack thereof, sexual orientation, disability, or gender identity, report it. Remember, some disabled people are not able to be immediately identified as being so and have what are known as hidden disabilities. Once a hate crime has been reported, the police will investigate whether a hate crime has been committed. The police refer hate crime cases to CPS where they think there is enough evidence for a conviction and is within the public interest. They may not always go to court, as there need to be enough evidence for a court to decide if it is true that a crime has happened. It is still important that you report what has happened to you, as it can be reported as a hate incident by the police, so they know what has happened. If the Crown Prosecution Service, or CPS, decide if someone should go to court, then the CPS will ask for a bigger sentence if it is a hate crime.